For the CI activities assignment, I want to share my initial reactions to what I read and saw on the videos. For chapter 5, it talked about how in proficiency-based teaching for novice students, our only job is to exchange messages that the students understand and find interesting enough to attend to. Obviously, what I get is from this too is we let's not make it boring or hard for students. We have to make it fun, but at the same time they have to it's like they have to do their part in order to be engaged. We can't make it just boring and for them to hate it to come to our class, especially for the novice students. They're just starting, so we have to take it kind of like easy at first and work our way through it throughout the year. We also talk about providing understandable and interesting spoken and written messages to students. It's basically the backbone of proficiency-based instruction, especially at the novice and intermediate low proficiency levels. Unlimited number of activities that we can use to deliver this message. Basically, in the reading, it gave me 37 activities that teachers use and future teachers can also use and have an idea of what to do. I picked out like 6 of them, but I'm pretty sure I'm probably gonna use more than that. But the first one, it's card talk. It was in the video. That's really helpful, and I'm gonna explain why too. And it helped me when I was a student. But a lot of the times when we are students, we don't see that what the teacher is doing, and now it makes sense why they do those certain things. Quick quiz, obviously. After you hand out the material and give instruction and help students walk through it, you want to give them a quiz, like a short quiz. It can be written or yes or no questions or multiple choice, just to see if they understand what they were doing. Also, the World Chunk Team game. This one is basically a community building game in which students who were socially marginalized, I think it's talking about, take on leadership position to run the game. The rest of the class works together in teams, and they compete to have the opportunity to translate chunks of the words from L2 to L1. Sorry. And this is interesting because the teacher on the first on the video with small talk, she basically kind of did the same thing. She had Lucas, I think it was the kid's name, and some other kid assisting him drawing a taco, and the class was coming together to choose what they were gonna how they were gonna make this drawing of this taco. And so these 2 kids were basically taking the leadership of drawing, and then the teacher was basically helping the class decide what color, how big, same thing, like what they were gonna do. And I think it's really helpful because kids were having fun, they were being engaged. I mean, sometimes they even got out of hand. But the thing that I really liked about her was her classroom management, how she has her procedures, rules. Every time they got out of hand, they talked too much, or she was talking and someone else was talking, she would just point out at the classroom procedure or rule, and the class would get silent. I really like how she implemented the clap rule when a student spoke in Spanish. That's just basically kind of like a reward, encouraging the student that they're doing great, they're doing good. And I just think that she did an awesome job. And I know the video is about small talk, which it's really helpful too. But I also think that she included the World Chunk Team game, which I think in my personal opinion, I could be wrong, but that's how I looked at it. And they were basically, some of the kids were saying it in English, and then they would translate it to Spanish. Not a lot, but I think that was an example of what I caught from the video too. And I also got Dictine, I think it was the other one that I plan on using in my class. Visual lectures. I think sometimes when you point at anything, students are better off when they understand it. In my personal opinion, that's how I learn English. From pictures, writing on the board, expressions. It's really helpful. So I plan on using that for my Spanish class. And an experiment in springtime. Obviously, we know that in the springtime is getting close to the end of the year. Students are getting bored. They don't want to be in school because summertime is around the corner. So we want to make it more. We want to make it more like an active activity, kinesthetic in the class to move, while still interacting with the language. Basically, make it more active, so students don't get bored. That would be an example of that I would use. It also talked about on the first video, that was just the reading that I was covering, but on the video, the first one, I guess as a student, I didn't notice that much, but gestures are a big thing. And that first video from, I think it was the link to the Facebook, sorry. It talked about how the way she gives gestures. So like vive would be like el pulso, tiene like tiene, and that's what she said. Le da, está triste, se llama, va a, like camina así. So those are like, those little things help a lot with the learning of students and makes it easy for some students to know what the teacher's trying to say. And if they don't get it the first time, you just repeat it and then until they get it. So I thought that was really interesting. The classroom management on these teachers was just awesome. From grading students at the beginning of the class to handling when they got out of hand. It's just like the one teacher said, teaching with gesture helps students internalize the language. So she also had like preguntas, quién, qué, dónde, cómo, cuándo on top of the board. And then on the first video, small talk, I think it's a really like activity that we can a lot of teachers do, and to answer the part of the other question, does these activities feel natural? I think all of three of them feel natural. I've seen it with teachers before when I was a student, and I've seen it when I go observe. A lot of them use gestures, small talk, and for the one, are there any that you could see incorporating into your classroom easily? I think the one that I can incorporate in my classroom is the card talk and the one word image, especially for Spanish. I think it's because I really like how that teacher thought, basically saying grande, grandísimo, pequeño, mediano, just stuff like that, and showing the name of the student, the drawing on there, like for del pingüino, es real o imaginario. That just helps students learn easily, and they're more engaged, they're having fun. That's what I noticed. I mean, one of the kids at the end of the card talk game said, that was so great, man. So obviously they had fun. Like I said, her classroom management was on point when they talked, and she pointed at the rule or procedure. They stopped talking. Everyone was involved. Like I said, the aplaudos. With the card talk, they build up a story, obviously with the name of the person, like I said, and the animal on it. So it was really helpful, and so I plan on doing that with my Spanish class because I can see that really helping, especially for like beginner students like Spanish 1. For the world image, it's the same thing. Obviously, it's not pictures, but it's words. So like H A for the example she gave Hudson. In Spanish is ha, like jota a. It's just has different meanings. So if we explain it to students like that, the way she did it, it would be easier. So I think those are the two that I could use incorporating into my classroom. The one that I can also incorporate into my classroom is small talk, but I think for Spanish 1 students especially, it would be kind of hard if we don't show any like images or words. If we just talk and talk, we're not gonna be. I don't think I would be like it would help me a lot. I would feel like students would learn with card talk and one word image talk. Those would be the ways they would learn. They would also learn in small talk, but I think it would be a little bit hard. I noticed that she used more English than Spanish in small talk, so it was just like code switching back and forth, which it's helpful too. So I plan on using that too. So but not at the beginning. So I really had no clue about these activities, but now every week I learn something new, and these were my initial reactions to what I read and what I saw. So thank you.